Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Career in Pharma and welcome to another episode of our Expert Talk Show. Today's Expert Talk Show is very special. Reason in this single profile, you will get to know about multiple job roles. You will get to know about these job roles. You will get to know about the difference between these job roles, which our expert has done, and she has done job in all these profile. So from this single profile you are going to get knowledge about all these three, like medical advisor, medical data analyst, and even medical insurance also. So yeah, without further delay, let's welcome Dr. Pallavi. Hello, Dr. Pallavi. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Nima. Thank you for inviting me to your talk show. I'm very glad I got this opportunity to give my views, my career experiences, and share all my experiences with the freshly graduates. I am very thankful to you.
And thanks, Dr. Pallavi, for accepting our invitation. And I'm very sure from your profile and from your experience, whatever you are holding, what you are going to share today through Career in Pharma, many clinicians, dentists going to be benefited from this for sure. So let's start the conversation. So first question, Dr. Pallavi, is like, what inspired you to transition from clinical dentistry into pharma and corporate world?
I like this question a lot. So, my dream was always to work with medicines. I have always been curious how a tiny molecule can spark some changes inside your body. Because in my practice, I have seen the real impact on my patients. So, I always wanted to understand how these drugs are designed, how these are mechanisms. So, all this curiosity led me to the pharmaceutical world. And secondly, I want to enlighten on something that in clinical practice, there is not much awareness about a dental care. So people are still hesitating to visit a dentist. So financially, it is not sustainable for a fresher to start their career in this field. So I think for them, the non-clinical sectors are the best fields to work with.
Correct. So, Dr. Pallavi, you have highlighted very important point actually. Yes, I do agree with this, and financial stability initially not there. So you know, right, how the market is inside dentistry, and let me tell you, it's becoming bad day by day. So few days back only, I was in a dental college that was a private dental college, and you will be surprised to know there were so less patient, and you know like how it happens in private dental college. So
Yeah,
exposure is not there. Then coming out of college also, you know, super saturated, I must say.
super saturated.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
So
true. It's
definitely
true.
there should be other options as well, which dentists can explore.
Yeah, and to have a
So
stable income at least. Yeah,
with this, yeah, please, Dr. Pallavi, please go ahead.
yeah.
Yes, stability, correct. So with this, Dr. Pallavi, our audience would like to know how you landed your first non-clinical role at Vasta Global, where you was a senior medical data analyst. Also, if you could share your timelines, like when you completed BDS, then after that, what you did, little bit of
Yeah,
that as
yes, yes. So before I'll start how I ended up with Vasta Bioinformatics. So before that, I graduated in 2018. Then I started 2 years of clinical practice full time. Then I came across the non-clinical sectors. I was not aware that a BDS knowledge can be utilized in non-clinical sectors, and it was a very happy shock for me that then I came across this Vasta Bioinformatics, and I'm glad I took this opportunity to kickstart my career. And yes, it's a great opportunity. You get to know so many new things. Like in medical data analyst, you get to understand electronic health record systems, which is important as a healthcare analyst or a medical data analyst. You should know how to operate these electronic health record systems and how to analyze patient health records and to abstract the clinical data. So all these things I ended up in the Vasta Bioinformatics.
And you correctly mentioned that, you were not aware that how much of your knowledge, use of knowledge is too much. Like whatever we have studied in BDS, I totally agree with you. Because of that degree, that knowledge only, you will be able to clear the interview. So that is
Yes.
very important because many dentists, when they don't see any option in clinical, they really are demotivated. They really
Yes.
think that their degree is of no use because they just see the clinical options. But yes, nowadays so many options are there. And
Yes.
we'll know more from Dr. Pallavi in this entire podcast. So please stay till the end. And with this, Dr. Pallavi, for you, next question is like you already mentioned that you whatever you studied in BDS that you used in your corporate role also. So with this, what kind of skills did you leverage from your BDS education in this corporate role?
Okay, so as a BDS graduate, I gained a solid foundation of medical terminologies,
Hmm.
common diseases, their treatments, and my 2 years of clinical practice honed these skills and deepened my understanding of patient care. Now, all these skills and knowledge I could be able to apply in the medical data abstractor job role, and it was very helpful for me as I was also learning new skills there. So I think for a BDS grad, especially for BDS graduates, if we are talking about, your medical knowledge is the primary thing. So be firm, be upskill your knowledge, so it will be useful for you to stay in the non-clinical sectors.
Yes, rightly said that all the knowledge of medicine, medical terminologies, and like you said, after clinicals, you get command over those things. So
Yes.
that is definitely going to be in use in corporate roles. Also, Dr. Pallavi, you mentioned this medical data abstractor, right? Somewhere. What is this exactly?
Okay, so basically, we used to analyze the patient health records. Then we used to abstract the data as per requirements of our projects. It was a cancer-based company. So I was in a different project of one of the cancer. So I used to abstract the particular datas, and we used to compile the data and put it on a portal which they provided using the electronic health record systems. Now, this curated data was helpful for the healthcare practitioners based on the USA. Then they used this data for the better treatment outcomes. And this data was also useful for the research purpose.
Okay. Got it, got it. So thanks for simplifying it in such a simple way. So basically, because of the medical knowledge we have, as a dentist, you will be able to abstract the data. I would say the relevant data, right?
Yes, yes,
Relevant data, and that healthcare professionals they are using in US for treatment outcome, and the same data could be used for research purpose, right?
yeah, yeah. So for
Yes.
the project, they used to give the guidelines that what data we need for our project for this cancer. What data do we need? If there is a bone marrow report, then what data you need to abstract from that. So all these guidelines we were already trained about. So you will get the training. I would say for all the freshers, you don't need to worry. You will get all the trainings you need.
Super, fantastic. I can see a huge market in this because research never going to end. And like
Yes.
you said, US healthcare is a big market actually.
Big market. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
and also just to add this, see, being a dentist, being the medical knowledge we are holding, companies do hire a lot of dentists because see, data abstraction may sound you simple thing, but no, it is not that simple. You have to use your medical knowledge, you have to use your brain, and that's how doctors they use it for treatment outcome. The data will be used for research purpose. So yeah, it's the market is really big for this. So, Dr. Pallavi, with this next question, I want to know because currently you're working as a medical advisor and you worked as a medical data analyst in what's this Vasta Global. So, what is the difference between these two roles, medical data analyst versus medical advisor?
Okay, so medical data analyst, I have already explained that
Mm,
it's all about the curation of the data.
mm,
Basically, data
mm.
abstraction is the data analyst or data abstractor is doing the job role.
Correct.
And a medical advisor is little bit different. Medical advisor role is more into clinical research, medical strategies, and the innovation, right? So medical advisor is doing multiple things in the same day. Like we are providing medical education programs to the marketing teams, to the healthcare professionals. We provide scientific inputs. We do literature searching, and we also prepare PPT scientific presentations for the doctors and for the training purpose. So there are so many things this job role provides you to do. And you gain so much of experience after being in this job role. And it is
So,
correlating with pharmacovigilance also and the clinical research. If you are opting for pharmacovigilance, then you can also be a medical advisor or a clinical research associate or a coordinator. So these three are interconnected. Yeah.
lovely. And even in this, I can see it's a lot of opportunities, lot of
Yes.
exposure, right?
Yes. Yes. Lot of exposure.
So, Dr. Pallavi, so medical advisor, you are in into some pharmaceutical CRO or pharmaceutical company, right?
Yeah. Pharmaceutical company. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Okay. Now, because you worked previously, you worked in a medical insurance company also. So,
Yes.
if you could little, explain what exactly we do in medical insurance sector as a dentist or clinician.
Yeah, so yes, it is always a question what a dentist is doing in the insurance. So it's nothing like what, see, there are not patients, they are the clients. They are coming for the insurance, right? So we used to review the medical records and also the financial documents. And we used to assess the risk of insuring someone by analyzing their health status, their financial status, their lifestyle before giving policy to the person. So it's all about the policy, and but in that, we used to review the medical records along with financial documents.
Okay. So it's before giving policy, and it's like after also, like once the patient has already taken policy. After that
Yes.
also there is a role.
Yes, that also,
Okay.
that there is a role. You have to go through all the documents for what the person is admitted,
Hmm.
for what treatments are done or needed to be done. Then all these things need to be reviewed. But because there can be some fraud or there can be some other things, you need to be vigilant about these things before giving the money to them.
Hmm. Correct, correct, correct.
So it's more, it's mix of, we can say, finance and the medicals. Yeah.
Hmm. Correct, correct. Because insurance company they need medical experts to
Yes.
judge to give that judgment. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, to give that judgment.
Okay, so one tough question might be easy for you also. I just want to understand because you worked as a medical data analyst also in medical officer, in medical insurance company and now medical advisor. So which role you like most?
It's obvious that medical advisor is
Okay.
my favorite role, which I'm currently in. And yes, at the initial time, I was exploring my options basically because I was new to the non-clinical field. So I was exploring what roles are actually matching my interest because I always wanted to work with the medicines, but I was not aware that even these roles are for BDS. So after exploring one, two, then finally I came across this pharmaceutical company. I got this opportunity, then I'm very thankful for that. And now I'm exposed to all the how this pharmaceutical world actually works.
Correct. Yeah, medical advisor role is really going to give you a lot of exposure.
Yeah.
And yes, pharmaceutical industry market is a big market.
It's a
So
big market. Yeah. Yeah.
yes, the more market is big, definitely growth opportunity also are good.
Yes. Yes.
So with this, Dr. Pallavi, definitely, whatever you have done in medical data analyst or in medical insurance company, I hope that helped you somewhere, maybe in using laptop, or
Yes.
that must have helped you in getting medical advisor role. And also now the work also has become easy, right? Because you have already using laptop,
Yes,
right?
using laptop, and I have learned so many new things like
Hmm.
PPT presentation, which I was not very good at my initial days. But
Okay.
after ex getting exposed to this non-clinical sectors, now I'm okay with this PPT presentations. I can justify the Excel sheets, the Word documents, because in BDS, as you know, there are no
Yes,
such things to learn about at
correct.
that time. So all these things are new for us, but if you give some time, some attention, you'll definitely learn all these things.
Correct, correct. So you have to give time, you have to be
Yes,
patient, and
yes,
gradually things will fall in place.
fall in place. Yeah.
So with this, Dr. Pallavi, next question is definitely, see, without challenges, no one grows. So I want to hear from you what challenges you faced in each of these roles and how you overcame those challenges.
Okay. So to be frank, transitioning roles is never easy. It can be challenging, but it is achievable. It's not it's not a thing that you cannot achieve. Yes, it will be a challenge, it will be a great challenge, but you can do it, but with proper guidance. There should be a good mentor, a proper guidance, and which is very essential for freshers to start their career with, because they are at a very initial stage. They need to have such guidance. And I struggled a lot to identify which roles actually match my interest, because I was exploring at that time. But after that, I started connecting with the pharmaceutical professionals on LinkedIn. Then I came to know which roles actually exist, what roles are for BDS graduates, or which roles are not suitable for us. So, when you connect with the professionals on the LinkedIn, it is giving you more insights. And I'm happy that I take this as a positive lesson. And one thing to remember, I always tell everyone that remember, your skills and knowledge are never wasted. They always open the future doors for you.
Correct. What a powerful lesson, I must say. Definitely, it's never a waste. Like, because many people, they hesitate to explore. और मुझे लगता है कि if you would not have explored, if you would not have taken your first opportunity as a medical data analyst, then definitely you could not have reached to this position today.
Yes, yes, it's true.
So yeah, exploration is must. You need to explore and never ever hesitate. And trust me, guys, I would say all of your knowledge, whatever you have studied in BDS, that is going to be in use for sure. Medicine, surgery, pharmacology, definitely. And because of which we have a upper hand as well, right? Because when you see in job, there are many people with different degrees. So somewhere definitely you have upper hand because of this medical knowledge. Yeah, so Dr. Pallavi, with this, I would like to know a few interview tips, not the necessary the questions, but yeah, for all these roles like data analyst, insurance, and then medical advisor. What interview tips you want to give to the freshers?
Okay, so first of all, I would say that all the three roles are applicable for all the medical graduate candidates, right? Because we are from a medical background, so all these roles need medical expertise. So we have a good amount of knowledge of medicine, right? So it is our strength. So candidate just need to revise all the medical diseases, the common diseases, the diagnosis part, the lab test, the treatments, because all the questions are mostly based on these only at the initial level. So you just need to revise. Secondly, boost your skills, right? And if you are doing any course, just highlight it, okay? And if you are not just for the sake of course, you understand what course you are doing. you are doing for, it's not for getting you the job, but it is for the more better understanding, right? So I think all these medical questions are essential. And secondly, if you are opting for medical advisor role, so additionally, you need to have ICH GCP guidelines to be thorough, right? And also the clinical research, little bit about clinical research, and also little bit about PPT presentations if you have done in your college times. Yeah.
Thank you, Pallavi, for this powerful tips on this interview tips. Definitely, yeah, medical knowledge is first thing, irrespective of any of these roles. Wherever you go, medical knowledge definitely they are going to check. And for medical advisor, you need to know basics of clinical trials, ICH, GCP. That
Yes,
is
yes.
very important. So, with this, Dr. Pallavi, I would like to understand from you what salary any fresher could expect, when they are joining these company or maybe any of these role or maybe any non-clinical. Because what happens, many times I have seen many of them have expectations, like very high expectations, and then they should also take care that they should not underestimate themselves, working in very less salary. So what average salary they can expect?
Okay, so first of all, many freshers they expect high paying jobs, corporates. So, and they need, at the very initial stage. So, it's a very big misconception, basically. So, always remember your pay will grow with your experience. It is not something you get at a very initial level, at a, just within a few months, within 2 or 3 months, you will see your growth. No, it is not going to happen like that. You need to have that patience. Okay. First, gain that experience. But one thing I want to say that it is certain that you will get immense learning and job satisfaction when you enter into the non-clinical sectors, because you already have a good medical knowledge, then you are learning new things, so there are immense learning. So get that learning, get that experience, your salary will definitely grow with your experience. So no need to worry that why the salary, the pay scale is low. Yes, if you compare with your the clinical practice, you will see a difference. And secondly, okay, you will say that in clinical practice, eventually there or the salary will grow. But what about the stability? There, this stability will only come from non-clinical sectors. And personally, I have experienced a good income stability is a requirement in today's world.
Correct.
Yeah,
100% I totally agree on this. See, with just a degree, you can't survive in this world. You need money, right? For basic survival. Roti kapda makan jisko bolte hain.
exactly.
If you have to go on your own, think about that situation. Think like that. Okay.
Yes,
Definitely you must be with parents or maybe husband, but what about your degree, yourself, right? So like Dr. Pallavi mentioned, that definitely you can achieve through non-clinical roles. And second thing, like Dr. Pallavi also mentioned, don't expect very high salary. And Dr. Pallavi, you will be surprised to know that see in clinicals we know what is the scenario, right? Many places they are not paying also.
yes,
They are
yes,
just telling you to observe the things. They will
yes.
not allow you to do scaling also.
Yes, it's very true. They
Yes, and
just
now
want to
when
observe.
these kind of dentists they are coming to non-clinical roles, you will be surprised to know that their salary expectation is they want 50,000 per month.
Oh, it's not possible, not at all possible. It will
Yes.
take time. Yes, it will.
Yeah. See, it is possible, but yeah, not at a fresher level.
Not
Just
at
give
the
some
fresher
time.
level.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
So just through your message and whatever you mentioned, I want to tell all the freshers, okay, whether you are MDS also, whether you have a clinical experience also. See, a good expectation is always good. Definitely, you have to raise your bar. But
yes,
before that, you have to learn, you have to showcase your skills to the companies. And definitely, forget about thousand, you can earn in lakhs also. But that will
yes.
happen gradually.
That will happen. Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
So with this, Dr. Palvi, next question is, what skills or certification would you recommend to freshers to build before applying to pharma roles or non-clinical roles?
Okay, so first of all, before enrolling in any course, first connect with LinkedIn professionals in your desired role or a company you want. So, just for a advice, then you can also explore online resources, online platforms like YouTube's or just like Dr. Nima's videos. I think it's incredible. Even I'm very happy with your videos, to be frank, and they provide you invaluable guidance because at fresher level you are not aware what things are happening. You need to connect with someone, you need to understand, you need to get the insights first. So connecting is very important, and after connecting you go to the online resources, you understand the job description, whatever you want to understand. If that role actually matches your interest, you can opt for that particular course. And if you are doing that particular course, just highlight it in your resume. Keep updating your profile on the LinkedIn. Right.
Great. So yeah, LinkedIn very important. With this, I want to know, Dr. Pallavi, how you got your first job.
Yes, so yes, I got my first job through LinkedIn only.
Oh,
And I think all because of networking. Networking is very important. And I think LinkedIn is a great platform to connect with the professionals with whom you want to connect. Right. So I think one advice I would like to uh, give that it might take some time, have that patience and connect with the professionals in a very appropriate manner. Okay, you should know what your limitations are, right? Then after that, keep updating yourself, keep boosting your skills. If you are do want to do course, do it. Okay, and highlight it on the LinkedIn. It's very important. It's not just doing the course, just highlight what you have done, what you know, what other additional skills you have gained. That.
correct. So yeah, rightly mentioned, you have to highlight, not just for the sake of doing course you have to do. You need to learn and then you need to highlight those skills in your LinkedIn because see, definitely recruiters are watching your profile. And when you are connecting on a professional platform like LinkedIn, first thing is, see, they don't know you personally, right? No one is your relative there. But yes, your profile is out there and which is a representative of who you are. So, yeah, have a good profile, add certifications, and yeah, highlight your skill set like Dr. Pallavi already mentioned. So, Dr. Pallavi, with this next question is what are some misconceptions freshers, especially dentists, have about the pharma or corporate?
I think the major misconception is the same what we have already discussed at the high paying corporate jobs. So don't worry, your salary will grow. Don't worry. Just
Hmm.
first gain your experience, and yes, the salary it will be in lakhs. So, but
Hmm.
for now, being a fresher, gain some knowledge, gain some experience, give your 100%, and see where you will be taken.
Yes, I totally agree with you, Dr. Pallavi, on this. And today, through my channel, through this podcast, I want to reveal what I was getting in my first job. I will not take the company name, but yes, I was just getting 17,000, 1 7, 17,000. And nowadays, people are not ready to accept these kind of offer. But yeah, I was really struggling in my clinicals. For me, it was do and die, really. आई एम टेलिंग थ्रू दिस प्लेटफॉर्म सो फॉर मी जो भी मिलेगा मुझे लेना ही है चाहे तुम मुझे 10,000 दो बट आई विल गेट अ स्टेबल सोर्स ऑफ इनकम दैट वाज
Stable
देयर इन
source
माय
of
माइंड
income.
सो
Yes, yes.
आई थॉट ओके सीख लेंगे धीरे धीरे बढ़ेगी सैलरी एक दिन तो कंपनी चेंज कर लेंगे दोस काइंड ऑफ थॉट्स आई हैव एंड आई स्टार्टेड विद 17,000 and I never imagined that I never thought of opening career in pharma this channel and all this stuff so yeah, I took that first job, and because of that only, we are doing this podcast here. We are talking to Dr. Pallavi, and because of that, what Dr. Pallavi has done in her job experience, she's sitting with us talking to us. So that's how thing happens. So no opportunity is a small opportunity. Your vision should be big actually.
Yes, vision should
So
be there. Yeah.
that is the most important. So don't expect too much. Yes, a decent salary you should get. That I
Yes.
can understand. Okay,
Yeah.
don't underestimate yourself. Definitely, you're going to get that opportunity very soon.
And I
So,
would also want to add
yes.
that ask
Yeah.
for more. Yes, it's not,
Mm.
don't feel shy. It's okay if you are asking for more. It's okay if you are not giving, if they are not giving you that much. That's okay. But at least you ask for more. You understand what is your strength, what is your capability. Don't feel less. Okay, you can ask for more. Yeah.
This is very important tip because see, many times I have seen recruiter companies, they have budget, but because candidate is not asking, they will be, final the offer everything
Yes.
in whatever we are ready for.
Yes, yes, yes. It's true. It's
So yeah,
absolutely true.
that is a common, because we fear, okay, if we ask more, maybe we lost this offer. So because of this fear also, many times we don't ask. So
Yeah.
no need to worry. Just ask what happened. They will say, okay, we don't have this much to offer. That only they will say, right? So at least
Yes.
ask and don't underestimate yourself. So yeah, with this last question, Dr. Pallavi, is one last piece of advice you would like to give all the freshers who look forward for jobs inside pharmaceutical industry or any non-clinical role.
Okay, I think for medical graduates especially, so the pharmaceutical industry is an excellent career path for all the medical graduates, right? And there is no just BDS or MBBS or BUHS, it is for all, right? And start connecting on LinkedIn. Connection is very important on LinkedIn, and do good certifications, boost your skills, then upskill your knowledge, and next, do your own research. Always do your own research using online platforms. Now, there are so many good online platforms you can explore. Dr. Nima's videos you can explore. They are really amazing, I think. And last thing I want to say, with proper guidance and a good mentor, you will find the right path to success. Yes,
True. Yes. Good mentor, guidance should be there. And definitely, like we already mentioned, see, your goal should be very clear.
goal should be
Okay.
very good.
And
Yes.
one thing also I would like to add here is, see, whatever we do in life, no, definitely you have some vision goal, but many things, there are some many unplanned things also. You will never know. Like I'm sitting here, Dr. Pallavi never must have imagined when she was doing BDS that she will be working in some pharma company also,
Mm,
right?
it's true.
So there are many unplanned things, many unexplored pathways which you are going to explore slowly. So never hesitate from exploring. Life is all about exploration, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah, with this, Dr. Pallavi, let's have a rapid fire round with you. Okay, so
Okay,
यहाँ पे you just have to use, very short. The answer should be yes or no, or
okay.
1 to 2 sentences.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Yes.
So first question is clinical or corporate? What excites you more?
Corporate.
One skill that helped you stand out.
Communication.
Oh, great. Very important. I'm just, again, I want to highlight this. Communication is
Is
the key. Your
yes,
degree will give you the job at a fresher level, but your communication will give you the career growth and boost. Very
yes.
important.
Yes.
So, resume tip every fresher must follow.
Okay, so first of all, whatever you are putting on resume, don't bluff. Okay, whatever you know, just put those things on your resume. Otherwise, you will be asked questions in your interviews. So just be clear what you know or what you don't know.
So yes, have an authentic resume, honest, not
Honest
just
resume.
correct. Don't bluff, correct. Because I have seen many people write so many things, whatever keywords they will get, and when you ask them, they don't know anything. So make sure. So see how to prepare for your interview. First, prepare your resume, and you should be knowing each and everything, whatever you have written in your resume.
Mm.
So yeah, with this next question, Dr. Pallavi, is one common mistake freshers make.
Yes, so one mistake is at a fresher level, uh, he or she is expecting more while going to the interview, that this will happen or that will I. So don't think about anything. Just be firm what you know. Just to revise all the medical questions what you have currently. Okay, don't try to explore more things, this or that. No, your basic knowledge is your strength. Just go with the flow, give your interview, give your 100%. Don't think about what will be the result, because I have seen many of the candidates are in so much of stress that what will happen, what if I don't get the job. It's nothing, you will get the another company. So that's it.
So true, so true. There are n number of opportunities. Let's see, if you fail one interview, doesn't matter, right? Next interview is waiting for you. And like you said, Dr. Pallavi, yes, focus on basics, because most of the time we think that knowing more will help. No, knowing basic will help you more. And especially during the day of interview, don't get nervous. Just be confident and firm. Like whatever you know, just speak that thing with confidence. What you don't know, that is also okay. See, nobody will be able to answer all the questions.
Yes, yes.
Any interview, any exam, right? So it's okay, and don't be nervous. So yeah, with this next question, Dr. Pallavi, is LinkedIn or job portals, which one get you more interviews?
LinkedIn.
It's true. Yes, even I agree with this. So, like I already mentioned, I all the time I say this thing to everyone. LinkedIn is the gold mine. You need to know how to use it. Yes,
How to use it, yes.
correct. So yeah, Dr. Pallavi, next question is: your first job was a luck, skill, or strategy?
Luck and skill both.
Great. Both correct. I
Yeah.
truly agree. Luck matters, but yeah,
Luck
then your
matters. Yeah.
skills. But yeah, without skill also, luck is of no use.
Yes, yes. That's also true.
Yeah. So next question, if not pharma, what would you be doing?
I would have been a MBBS clinical practice.
Oh, great. Okay, so your biggest professional turning point.
Okay. So I like this question a lot. So my biggest turning point is when I switched from insurance to pharmaceutical industry, because it was a big challenge for me, because I was struggling at that time, because my all experience was about the medical data analyst and the insurance, but not of pharma industries. So it was a challenge, but when I got this opportunity, my life changed. Yeah.
I totally agree with this, Dr. Pallavi, because when you don't have any experience, then it's still easy. But when you have a certain specific kind of experience, like you already worked in medical insurance, then yes, people do face challenge to coming to different sectors.
Yes, changing
And
sectors is difficult.
yes, I totally agree with this. And somewhere, it's not easy to
Yeah,
change your sector, especially,
yes,
in non-clinicals.
yes,
So
yes,
yeah,
yes.
I must say that is the really a biggest professional turning point for. So yeah, with this, now it's time to conclude this podcast. And once again, Dr. Pallavi, I want to ask from you any last piece of advice.
Be firm, be determined, be confident. Don't feel less ever. You are more than you think yourself. That's it. Yeah.
100% true. You are more than you think. Yes. So, with this, guys, we have to conclude this podcast now. And I hope you like all the discussion which we had. I hope you got the clarity what is medical data analyst, what is medical advisor, and what is a medical officer in any medical insurance company. I hope you got the difference between a medical analyst role and a medical advisor role. I hope you got the difference between medical insurance and pharma sectors. And I hope there are so many other learnings you will be able to get through this podcast. Also, if you have any query, related to any of these roles or maybe any sector, whatever we talked in this podcast, please feel free to comment your question in the comment below, and would love to read all and would love to comment all. So with this, we are going to wind up this podcast now. We'll be coming soon with some other podcasts. Till the time I come again, till that time, have a nice day. Bye bye and thank you.